Hello everyone, my name is Bailey Chariker, and I'm super excited to be presenting my presentation for the College of Health and Human Services with UNC Wilmington for a Student Success Advisor. For my presentation today, I'll be sharing an overview of what I'll be talking about. Throughout this presentation, I will have my introduction, what being a Student Success Advisor means, purpose and support, collaborative approach, commitment to continuous improvement, professional long-term goals, and self-care and work-life balance. Once again, my name is Bailey. I am from South Carolina, born and raised. I'm from Saluda, South Carolina, which is about 45 minutes outside of Columbia. Here are some pictures of my family. This was us a couple weeks ago at my sister's baby shower, and then my brother's wedding right here. Throughout my time, I've been able to serve as a graduate assistant for the College of Behavioral Social and Health Sciences during my master's program here at Clemson University. I also received my bachelor's at Clemson University in elementary education. Here's a picture of me at my graduation in May 2023, and I will be graduating with my master's on May 9th of 2025. So almost 2 years to be exact, which is crazy. And so throughout my assistantship with academic advising, I've served the health science students here at Clemson as an academic advisor, advising first and second year students. So I've been able to uphold my advising philosophy with my students, and so these are some key pillars that I incorporate with advising. And so that is building genuine relationships, continuously educating myself, listening intentionally, showing grace and respect to all, providing appropriate resources, and care for well-being of the student. And I will talk about that a little later on, also throughout the presentation. So within this role, what it means to me is fostering academic success, providing appropriate resources within the university and community programs, since some of these students are wanting to go with these accelerated programs, making sure that they're still incorporated within the community in those pipeline programs, utilizing a variety of platforms to ensure proper communication among all students to make sure that we have that effectively done, and then accommodate the specific needs to the goals of the student. As I've mentioned in my advising philosophy, making sure that we have those genuine relationships important. So making sure that I understand specifically what that student needs by getting to know them and understanding what their career goals are. Some potential challenges that students who may be wanting to complete an online accelerated program, given that they may be in the population of first gen or an adult learner and so on. Overcoming any psychological barriers might be something to be difficult because of imposter syndrome or anxiety or fear, juggling that work and family life balance with academic needs, any financial constraints, especially if they're supporting another household or supporting themselves alone. That could be something that's financially hard, and then also a lack of support systems. With first gen students, their family might not understand why they're wanting to do an online accelerated program, so making sure that we are that support system is important. So, to ensure all students feel supported, and this goes once again, my advising philosophy is instilling thorough communication and organization. With this being an online accelerated program with advising these students, making sure that they still feel that they are being communicated with effectively, even though if it's not face-to-face, following up with any additional information and resources, once again, having with thorough communication, building those genuine relationships, even though it might not be face-to-face interaction. I want them to understand that somebody is there for them and supporting them, and not a transactional approach. Caring for their well-being. Something I do here at Clemson is before we get started with advising appointments, I ask how they're doing as a whole, whether that's life outside of Clemson. Just wondering how they're genuinely doing is important to me. And continuing to educate myself on anything that they have questions on, so that I can understand it better. And once again, with that, even if I don't know the answer, going back to providing them the appropriate resource or person that might be helpful for that. So, a collaborative approach, some team-oriented approaches that I think are important with working with a team, making sure that you're setting clear goals among the team, because if you all don't know what is going on, then that makes it very hard to do the job effectively, and then everybody's confused. So making sure that we all understand what the important goal is and the important goal at the end of supporting the student too. Fostering open communication is really important to me, making sure that people feel confident and comfortable within a work environment, and that's how I feel supported as well. Recognizing achievements and goals among others, and then promoting collaboration and also ensuring, once again, accurate information is being communicated, because if we don't all know what's going on, then those clear goals can get messed up. An example of how I have been able to collaborate among a college campus is this past summer I served as the NOTA intern, which is the National Organization for Orientation and Transition Programs with Southern Methodist University in Dallas, Texas. And so I got to organize, plan, and execute our orientation retreat alongside our coordinator for orientation and transition at SMU. And so without this program, I was able to provide professional development opportunities. Students were able to hear among all different offices at SMU. And so I was able to serve as the liaison for that, of communicating with those partners, making sure we had all of their information available, and also letting the students understand why these offices are coming to talk, because they're here to educate the students on what their roles are at SMU and why it's important for them to understand these roles for first students coming in to campus. So here's some pictures. Right here is actually when we did our orientation retreat, and we got to do a little fun like dress up day with them. And then over here in the picture in the middle was my last day. So that was a really great experience. I've talked a little bit about so far of commitment to continuous improvement. Some ways that I have been doing that is listening to podcasts related to higher ed and outside. As we know, those areas do intersect, and so whether that's locally and nationally, making sure that we understand. Reading a lot of different articles, books, all those things, and then participating in professional development opportunities. Those can look very different, and so whether that's a workshop on campus, or going to a national conference, or just going to a conference within the state, making sure that I'm participating in that so that I can continue to educate myself and also for the betterment of students. Some key metrics for tracking that are really important to make sure that student success is there and viable is feedback from students and faculty and staff. Something I ask my students all the time when they come in my office, like when advising appointments are done, is do they understand what we talked about today? Are there any points that I could clarify? Because I want to make sure that they are gaining the value of this conversation and that they can be successful, so forth. And then sending information to all students with reassuring questions. So if there's some questions that students are having that might seem very similar, I like to just send out information as a whole for students so that they all understand, because even if it's only like 2 or 3 people asking the question, there may be some more people confused. So making sure that we're all on the same page, once again, setting those clear goals for that effective communication. Any surveys that the university might hold, that we can have like accurate tracking for that, and then drop-in hours and general meetings. The first week of classes at Clemson, we like to have drop-in hours just so that students feel supported and making sure that they understand where they're going. And that can look different, that can also be on Zoom. And so holding different platforms for that, and just any general questions they have for it. Some professional goals that I have for myself in 2 to 3 years: I would love to become an assistant director and possibly become published in a scholarly article. And then in 5 to 7 years, I would hope to become a director of an office. And I'm still thinking about getting my PhD. This might be a little bit more in the future just because I'm almost done with grad school, and I think I'm done with school for a while. But we will see. Still thinking on it. Lastly, how I like to take care of myself. Some of my hobbies include shopping. Some people might say that's not a hobby, but I fully think it is a hobby because I love it so much. Going on walks, going to the movies. I'm a big movie person. I love to go to the movie theater. Journaling is really big for me. That's also a way I like to reflect on just things going on, and that's another way I like to stay informed on myself. Doing puzzles is a really big thing for me too. This is actually a puzzle in our advising office that we have currently as a little bit of a brain break. And so some work-life balance strategies that I like to include is establishing boundaries. So whether that's just putting in my auto reply what my office hours are so that students understand, if I'm not responding, that is why, because it's out of my office hours, and making sure that they understand that that time will be taken. And then just taking breaks to walk and get some fresh air. That is something I've been doing lately, more and more, because I can be, we're all prone to be wanting to do our work so much. So taking that actual time to take a break is really important for me. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation today. Here's my contact information. If you do have any questions, I am happy to answer them. Thank you.